Alright, so let's talk about the Titanfall Beta. I have been playing it since Saturday, and I gotta say, really, really fun. That's the first words that are gonna come to my mind, is that this game, at least in its current beta stage, is extremely fun. It's not perfect by any means, granted, it's still a beta, but the overall feel and just enjoyment while playing is right there. It's right where you want it to be. It's pretty much exactly what I was looking for in a nice first-person shooter slash mech game. So getting into the gameplay, your basics are very Call of Duty-ish in feeling, which is not surprising considering the development team. But they've added some other things that have to improve and add to the feeling of running around and shooting people. The first is obviously the wall running and the parkour, and this is actually extremely easy to get into. It just involves running and jumping at a wall and then jumping to another wall and jumping up. It's really intuitive and really fun, and you just get into it almost right away. If you're just one of the people that decides to try to run around on the ground, then you're going to end up getting yourself shot a lot because there's going to be people above you and they're going to shoot you. So it's going to cause people to really start looking around and taking into account the level design and the verticality of each level in how they go around doing things. The next big change is obviously the Titans, or the mechs, that get called down and act in here. Basically, your Titan is on a cooldown. All right. When the match first starts, everybody starts at 4 minutes until their Titan comes down. However, you can reduce this by shooting other players or even the bots that are on the ground. But players give you more time off. So hurting and or killing other players or bots reduces the amount of time that it takes for your mech to be called down. And then once you call it down, it can either be set to an AI-controlled auto mode, where you can set it to either follow you, where it'll try to stay as close to you as possible, but it'll still engage other Titans or infantry or pilots, which are what the players are called. Or you can set it to guard mode, where it will stay in a very limited area and sort of patrol and only take on things that come into that limited area. Or you can obviously get into it and do your thing while you're in it. Now, the controls while you're in a Titan are a lot different than when you're on the ground. There's no parkouring. You basically just have dashing and trying to get around, but you're also in a 24-foot tall mech with really powerful weapons. So infantry is not that big of a deal to you if you can see them, nor are pilots, unless they can get on top of you. And really all you're worried about mainly is other Titans. And overall, the Titans, they feel fun. There have been quite a few times when my Titan has done things when I wasn't in control of it that actually got me a lot of points. And I am not going to complain about that, okay? And they feel good. They basically, if everybody can get their Titan down, then basically there are now 12 on 12 instead of 6 on 6, which is the highest that the game goes right now. But this isn't to say that pilots are completely defenseless versus Titans. In fact, every pilot gets a Titan weapon, anti-Titan weapon, I guess I should call it. That's either a lock-on missile launcher or a rapid-fire non-lock-on missile launcher in the beta. As of right now, there might be more later on. Matter of fact, I know there's more because I had a burn card, which I'll discuss in a few minutes, that actually gave me a different weapon, although I didn't get a chance to use it before I died. Cry, tear falling. Also, pilots can rodeo ride on enemy Titans, in which case they will rip off the casing over top of basically the central processing unit, and they try to destroy the central processing unit while they're on top. Versus an AI-controlled Titan, once that brain case is ripped off, it'll just go down to one knee and let them destroy them because it has no defense against it in AI mode. However, if a pilot is inside of it, they can either continue to try to attack another player or whatever they're currently doing, or they can jump out and try to kill you while you're on top. Or there is an ability that gets opened up later on where you can pop this electrified smoke that will kill the pilot that is on top of you if you pop it fast enough and you stay in the smoke. So there are defenses against rodeo riders, but the Titan itself is not indestructible versus the regular players. Your anti-Titan weapons, they don't do a ton of damage, but concentrated fire by a few people will easily take down a Titan. And obviously, rodeo riding. I've rodeo ridden a couple Titans right in a row, and it was really fun just to blow them up with my regular machine gun, blowing its central processing unit out. So just because the Titans are there doesn't mean they're indestructible. In fact, they're very destructible by the pilots if the pilots play it right. But also, pilots have to be careful, as I said earlier, because the weapons that the Titans have can literally rip you to shreds in no time if you're just a pilot running around in front of them. Another difference is the bots that are going to be on every level. I think it's about 6 to 9 bots per team at a time, and they're not extremely intelligent, okay? You can like literally run in front of one and it will barely have a chance to kill you unless you just stand there and let it kill you. Although getting killed by one makes you feel really bad if it does happen. Because it probably means you either didn't see it or you just were like, what? But they're more there as cannon fodder. They're there to just give a little annoyance to the pilots, when especially in objective-based games where they have to get rid of the bots that are holding the area after the team has taken it. I don't believe they can capture the area, but they can hold it until the bots are destroyed. So that's one thing. They also can pull out anti-Titan weapons and shoot at Titans when they see them. So again, just an annoyance for the people in the Titans. There's a couple different types. There's your regular militia, which look like people. Grunts and militia are the same thing, depending on if they're IMC or the militia. And they'll do interesting things, like they'll pull their wounded people off to the side, which I've seen a couple times. It's really cool. And then, of course, I killed them because, I'm a jackass. But then there's also the robotic Spectres, they're called. And these have more like sniping weapons and things like that. But those can also be hacked by the pilots, which is also kind of neat. So, meh. I mean, I know some people are kind of upset that there are bots involved at all, but they're not there to take over the match. In fact, they can do very little on their own. They're there to give you a couple extra points. They're there to let you get some challenges done. They're there to be annoyances to you when you're trying to get to an objective. They're not there to, be a huge deal that you have to deal with or you're not going to get through the game. So the next thing is, a lot of people, when they play Call of Duty, they go for the perks. And people go for certain perks all the time, like Sleight of Hand, which gives you a faster reload, that sort of stuff. And what Respawn Entertainment has done is they've changed perks. Basically, as you level up, you open up card slots. And these cards are really written kind of like Magic the Gathering cards or Netrunner cards, where there's like little sayings on the bottom and everything. And they're pretty cool. And what they are is they are 1 life / 1 round abilities that you're able to get. And I say it like that because if you happen to live through the round with a single card, then obviously that's the only card you've used. And otherwise, they only last 1 life. And you can activate them between lives. You can activate them right before the match starts, that sort of thing. They're not auto-activated. There's no kill streaks involved, anything like that. You get the cards for completing certain challenges, for maybe doing something like running over a pilot, that sort of stuff. And I like them. Sometimes they'll change your weapon. Like you can get an amped version of the Carbine, which does more damage. So instead of taking like 5 or 6 shots to kill somebody, it might only take 3. Or you can get a different type of anti-Titan weapon. Like I said earlier, there actually was a different anti-Titan weapon that I got for, half a minute until I died, and I didn't get a chance to use it because somebody shot me, and I was kind of upset because I wanted to see what this anti-Titan weapon did. But it wasn't one of the normal anti-Titan weapons that you had in the beta. There's 1 or 2 that will actually let you call a Titan down at the very beginning of the match if you want to. So these are neat little perks, I guess is the good way to call it, but they're limited time perks. They're not something that you're going to get and keep throughout the whole match. You either use them or you don't. You can only have, I think, 26 of these cards at any given time in your, quote, deck. And if you're running low, you got to get rid of them. So if you never use a shotgun, for example, you can get rid of all the shotgun cards. Or if you never use a pistol or whatever. But I like them. Some of the ones that I've really enjoyed have been the ones that reduce the cooldown on your Titan, or the cooldown on the Titan's core ability, which in the demo is just a damage core, which gives you increased damage output. If you use those at the beginning of the match, it becomes a lot easier to get your Titan down very early. So that sort of stuff. Very, very useful. Obviously, looks like a way that could have been done as a microtransaction thing, but apparently the developers have said no, they don't want to do that. They just want them to be rewards that people get in game, and I'm like, I'm all for that. I don't want to spend microtransactions on getting these cards. Just let me earn them for doing what I do, and then let me use them or not use them as I choose. So obviously this is a beta. There's not a whole lot to do as far as game modes go. Right now, there are only 3 game modes. There is Attrition, which is basically Team Deathmatch. There's Hardpoint Domination, which is basically domination, or some of the other games will call it, like, hold points, whatever, where you try to hold the more locations to earn your score faster, that sort of stuff. And there's Last Titan Standing, which is exactly as it sounds. When all the Titans on a team are destroyed, then the round is over. And also, there's only 2 maps right now. There is Angel City and Fracture, I believe it's called. So these are the only 2 maps that are available, and these are the only 3 game modes that are available. All the game modes are pretty fun. Obviously, Attrition, for those people that have been playing first-person shooters for a long time, versus people that don't yet quite grasp everything to do with the gameplay, it can be over really quick, and you'll be like, what the fuck? I don't even get it. One thing to remember is bots do count towards what they call attrition points. However, they're worth less than a Titan or a pilot. Your grunts and your specters are only worth 1 point towards your team's total score, and every pilot killed is worth 4, and every Titan killed is worth 5. Okay? So even though you could technically farm the bots the entire time, it's not as good as trying to kill other players or Titans. With the hard point domination, it's basically there's 3 points. If you hold 2, you're just going to get your points that much faster. And that's really it. And then you can run around and try to kill people that are trying to do everything to get your challenges done and build up your experience anyway. Also, since it's a beta, I'm sure that the max level in the beta of 14 is definitely going to be changing, for one. I'm also sure that the experience needed to get up to these levels is probably going to change in the final game as well. That really they wanted people to be able to just experience the unlocks as fast as possible in the beta so they could understand what they were going to be getting in the final version. And, I mean, it's not hard to get up to level 14. You can do it in a day. Easy. You just play and you're going to get there. Challenges that happen, they will affect your level. Completing each tier of challenges will give you experience and or burn cards depending on the tier that you're doing. And it's all really fun. But like I said, it's limited because it is a beta. So it can get a little tiresome playing the same 2 maps, but at least, hey, when those maps come up in the final version, you should know them pretty well by now. But the overall feeling of fun is there. I have a feeling that as long as this game is going to come out and it's going to feel the same, and then we find out what's going on, obviously, with this whole campaign that's multiplayer versus the regular just multiplayer modes, which are completely separate in the final game, apparently, and how that's all going to work, that, there is a very good chance that this game is going to be a very big hit. It's the first real shooter that's been designed explicitly for the next generation of consoles, even though there is going to be an Xbox 360 version. It's being developed by somebody else. And obviously it'll be on the PC as well. But I think it looks to be, right now, like it's going to be something very worth it. And I cannot wait for March 11th to come around and to get on there and just start going through and having some good old fun with my friends. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. And follow me on Twitter at Uncle Thursday, blah, 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 blah. There's all sorts of links down in the description you can follow for my Google+, my Facebook page, stuff like that. And I will catch you guys a little bit later as I'm in the middle of editing a bunch of videos that were recorded earlier than this video with me and my friends playing Titanfall. All right, I'll catch you guys later.
sustained.
Pilot, your Titan will be ready in 2 minutes.
Okay, buddy, we're approaching Alpha. Watch for hostiles. The uplink's dead, man. You gotta clear out the hostiles in the area. They're messing with the signal. I've neutralized IMC control of this terminal. Securing the hardpoint. Halfway to securing the hardpoint. Okay, the hardpoint is ours. Now hold your position. You got incoming IMC forces, but I can't get a fix on their numbers.
Real friends. The one thing money can't buy.
Charlie's under attack. We just lost Charlie. We're crushing them big time. Don't let up. Hardpoint Charlie, dead ahead. Get in that building. That's it. Nice move. Finish the job.
Be advised, Titan ready in 30 seconds.
Check your HUD. You're close to hardpoint Charlie.
Okay, your Titan's prepped for launch. Calling when ready.
We got Charlie.
Transferring control to pilot.
Nice moves. We're 75% to our mission goal. Don't let up on those hard points.
Warning. Recommend regen. Warning. Core reactor overload.
Pilot, your Titan will be ready in...
Hey, check your HUD. You're close to hardpoint Charlie.
Hey, your Titan will be ready in... I'm still detecting IMC pilots in the area. Cut them off before they get to the evac point.